But let's go to this now. As the 2022 academic year kicks off, the Higher Education Department is calling on the public to be vigilant about bogus tertiary institutions. In 2018, that's about 4 years ago, the department successfully prosecuted about 40 individuals for operating illegal schools. Let's speak to Higher Education Deputy Minister now, Buti, Manamela. Thank you very much, Mr. Manamela, for speaking to us here on Newslink. Of course, quite a concern. We've seen the media, for instance, covering quite a few of those students desperately, obviously, trying to get a higher education and then finding out a little later on that the certificate or degree they have actually is not even from a registered school.
Yes, of course, this is quite a big concern for us. We have been working over the years, as the department, but together with the South African Police Services and the Prosecutions Authority to try and root out those who are operating illegal colleges over this week. As part of that work, we went to about 4 institutions, and I think what the intention is not only to shut down those which are illegal, but also to inspect those who have actually registered with the department and try and see if there are issues of non-compliance and help them to comply. We've got a big challenge. Our public institutions are not able to accommodate the huge number of students who graduate from high school. And therefore, this means that, there's opportunity and space for private providers to operate. And what we've seen is that although there are those who are operating legally and are complying with the laws of our country, there are those who take advantage, who defraud our people. And that's why we, working tirelessly to make sure that we expose this. We, shut them down, but we also ensure that those who are responsible are brought to through our police institutions.
Have you done anything, DM, for instance, some research as the department to see why it is that it's so easy for people to come into South Africa or people in South Africa already to open these bogus colleges and institutions of higher learning?
Well, look, I mean, where there is, and this is a phenomenon that's happening all over the world, where people see an opportunity as it relates to the, the demand in terms of higher education. And as I said sometime in the week, that some of these individuals or companies move from as far as the United States, from Europe, and some from within the continent. And that is why we are working not only with the Hawks, but also with the FBI and various international law enforcement agencies, so that we're able to, bring all of this, all of them to book those who are operating illegally. And I think it's also important that we alert the public, because we may not or unable to identify all of this. We're working quite well with the South African taxi industry, who are helping us to identify and expose some of this. But I think it's up to the public, to, if you go into an institution that's a private college, to check if that institution has been registered, to also check with our department, because we've got a list of all the registered colleges, and along that list is the programs that that college is supposed to be providing, and in that way, you will be able to save yourself, from being defrauded.
And DM, we know that some of this is because of desperation from pupils, right, to be able to get a higher education, to be able to get jobs, because that's what we've always been told. Sorry about that. That's what we've always been told you need to be able to get jobs in the country. But does it speak to, anything about the fact that in South Africa, education, especially higher learning, is expensive? And also it's not really, accessible to everybody. Does it also speak to that part that government needs to also address?
Well, most definitely. I mean, we have now about 1.1 million students who are going to public universities. We have about 550,000 students who are going to private TVET colleges. More than 300,000 of those are going to community colleges, which means close to 2 million students are attending in our public institutions. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, even if, sorry, even if we can provide all the, even if we can provide for, all the individuals, there are some individuals who prefer to go study in private institutions. So the public higher education system has expanded over the years, but the demand still grows because of the number of students who graduate from, grade 12. So we are, I think, going to be staying with this challenge as long as the law allows for people to provide for private education, but also for as long as we have the limitations that we have in our public institutions. And I think what we need to be doing is working together with the public and with various organizations that have been doing very well in this space to try and ensure that we root out private colleges that are illegally operating.